Broadcasting live. Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Underground, thunder bounce when I stop the ground. Like a million elephants, a silverback orangutan. You can't stop the train. Who wants to don't come? Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue. Run to the hills. Run let my body hit the floor. Let my body hit the floor. Let my body hit
What's up, everybody? Welcome to everybody's favorite day of the week. Yes, that's right. It's Friday, and I'm back. Yes, on Wednesday, if you follow the show at all, I was sick. I was throwing up everywhere, and I don't know what it was about. I got up, I was fine, didn't feel sick, nothing was wrong, and then all of a sudden, I started spewing everywhere. Yeah, so for the next like 6 hours, 7 hours, I was just constantly throwing up. So unfortunately, there was no show on Friday. Yesterday, I spent the most part of yesterday kind of recovering as well, and now I'm good to go. So I have no idea what was going on. I think the establishment, as it's known, was trying to poison me. I think with me speaking out about certain topics on Hillary, yeah. I think the assassins had something to do with it. But I beat the odds, and I'm back. So, yeah, there's that. Terry says, does the radio station have an app? Yes, it does, Terry. We here at WTF Nation Radio do have an app. If you have an iPhone or Android, you can go to your store and just download TuneIn Radio. It's a free app. Just download that. Once it's installed, just search for WTF Nation Radio, and boom, you can take us anywhere you go. If you have an Android device, you can download our own app. Just go to the Google Play Store and download or search for WTF Nation Radio. Download that, and boom, away you go. Too easy. I know. So I got this fucking zit, and the motherfucker won't go away, and it's pissing me off. So now I really do have a face for radio. I've been putting like cold compresses on it and trying to like squeeze out all the shit that's inside. And I think for the most part, it's gone. It's just the after effects now. So yeah, I got this big red fucking thing on my face. But yeah, you guys should also be happy to know, well, kinda, I guess, maybe, that we fixed the problem I was having with the mobile apps. Yes, that's right. So now, you guys, if you listen to the show via the mobile apps, you guys should be able to hear the music and stuff. Maybe. I have no idea what's going on. Maybe it's not working. Oh shit, I don't think it's working. Man, I think I messed it up again. But it was working at one point. Yeah, get that. We fixed one problem, now we run into another problem. Yeah. So there's that. Oh man. Yeah. Well, Redleg kind of helped me out, and it was a simple fix. But now it looks like there's another issue. So I have no idea what's going on with this thing. It's broke again. But you may be asking, where's Raptor Mom? Because Raptor Mom normally helps co-host Well, I guess Raptor Mom has maintenance guys around her place right now fixing some stuff. So she's kind of busy. So it's me, myself, and Pi. So thank you all for tuning in and joining us. Man, there's I guess there's been quite a bit going on this week from all kinds of different realms and ends of the scale, so to speak. Did you guys hear? Now, this is freaking ridiculous. Did you guys hear about the drunk driver that drove in to a medical helicopter? You know, one of them Lifeline helicopter things that come down when there's a car wreck or a serious accident. They need to get the person to hospital ASAP. Well, yeah, this thing landed on the road perfectly fine, and some fucking idiot decided to crash into the fire truck that was in the middle of this road, and then bounce off that and crash into the medical helicopter. Yes. I mean, I couldn't make this shit up. So, check this shit out.
Well, we tell you about suspected drunk drivers causing accidents all the time across our state, but this latest crash may top them all. McKinley County Sheriff's deputies say an alleged drunk driver came plowing through a crash scene, barreled into a fire truck, then hit a medical helicopter. As Brittany Costello reports near Gallup, the worst part of all of this, one witness says it doesn't even surprise him.
It was just another day of work for Frank Hernandez, who works for Speedway Towing in Gallup. He was cleaning up what was left of a car crash around 2 this morning near Highway 566. And as he was towing this vehicle, first responders and a medical helicopter arrived to rescue the driver in critical condition.
Then I noticed after we got the vehicle picked up, this black Jeep flew past us.
He says the Jeep plowed through the barrier surrounding the Gallup MedFlight helicopter, first ramming into a fire truck, then the helicopter, making it inoperable.
I was thinking, what the heck this guy's doing, really? Because they had people down at that end trying to stop traffic already. He almost hit two ladies.
That guy was identified as 26-year-old Glenn Livingston of Gallup.
Our medical team did an outstanding job. The patient was extremely critical. They maintained composure, they were professional, and they stabilized this patient and continued on despite the incident that occurred on scene.
While the patient made it safely to the hospital and no one else was injured, the most disturbing part is that Hernandez says this is no surprise.
You gotta be pretty drunk. I've seen them where they've taken vehicles off the road.
Wow, and that's just
they don't know if they actually did that or not.
In fact, he estimates around 95% of the cars destroyed in this lot were due to drunk drivers. Livingston is facing a number of charges, including aggravated DWI and open container. Brittany Costello, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
Azua says they are not sure just how much damage to the helicopter will cost, but they say despite that accident, they will be back in operation Monday.
So get that shit. I mean, I've heard of you know, dudes drink driving and crashing into police cars and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you bounce off of a fire truck and then into a freaking medical helicopter. So let me say this, guys. You all know, you all know this shit. Do not fucking drink and drive. I mean, it's the most basic common sense thing that you can think of. I mean, just don't fucking do it. There's a number of ways that you can get home or get around the place. You can either call a cab, call an Uber, call fucking Lyft, call one of them fucking ride-sharing places. There's some cities around military installations that do like a special kind of taxi service where they pick you up and they drive your vehicle home as well.
Some bars even offer I guess like an Uber service, but it's their own people that do it. We were at a pub last night, and they had their own, I guess, transportation for if you are, you know, too intoxicated to go home.
Oh,
which
wow.
I thought was nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But I mean, it's basic fucking common sense. Listen, if you go out or if you're planning to go out and you know that you want your car the following day, either A, don't drive your car there, or B, make sure there's a foolproof way of getting your car back that doesn't involve you or another drunk person driving it. I mean, it's common fucking sense. But in this day and age, I guess common sense really isn't that common, and people still freaking do this shit. So I hope the guy in this particular case gets his nuts in a vice and gets fucking the book thrown at him. And then on top of that is made to pay for any damage to the fire truck as well as any damage to that particular helicopter. So this guy is going to be bent over, paying for this shit for a while.
How much it was going to cost to repair the helicopter or to
No, not yet. I think
replace it, or
no, I think they're still trying to work out what damage there is to it. The article says, because there's an article with the video, it says the helicopter was unoccupied at the time of the crash. No injuries were reported. First responders had set up a landing zone for the medical helicopter to transport a patient from the crash scene. Livingston was charged with aggravated DWI and resisting, evading, and obstructing an officer. The judge set a cash-only bond at $20,000. Should Livingston pay the bond, he will have to submit to a breathalyzer and urinalysis, according to this news article. I didn't know the judges could set a $20,000 cash-only bond. Now, is that the same as he's got paid 10%, so that's $2,000? Does it work the same way? I don't know. But I think he should have been charged with a lot more than that. Aggravated DWI and resisting, evading, and obstructing an officer. I think he should have been charged with criminal damage.
negligence.
Yeah, negligence. Maybe even attempted murder, depending on how close he actually came to fucking people. Yeah. I mean, you start charging people with stuff like that, and maybe I don't know. Like,
I'm wondering if this is his first time as a DWI,
right,
or his second, third, fourth, fifth. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, that's the other thing, because in cases like this, you tend to see people have been charged with DWIs like 10, 15, 20 times before, and they're still able to drive.
Well, usually it's not legally, but they're still driving.
Well, I mean, in some cases they are. They're still legally allowed to drive because the judges are being too much of a pussy to take their licenses away. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to something like this, I don't know the guy's backstory. I don't know if he's working and all that kind of stuff. But do you reprimand him enough where he then loses his job, which then causes him difficulty, which then may lead to him having more issues down the road, such as like legal issues, such as, I don't know, maybe he's like, you know what, fuck it, and starts drinking even more and starts drink driving, maybe ended up killing someone. Or maybe he says, you know, fuck it, I've lost my job, I'm losing my house, and then starts like go robbing people or selling drugs or something like that.
So I Googleized cash only bond. Basically what it means, he can't just put 10% down and he's out the door. They have to post the entire $20,000 in order to bond him out of jail.
Oh, damn. Yeah, he ain't getting out of jail.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty good. I like that.
What people like don't realize is when first responders are on scenes of accidents, that's one of the most dangerous time for a first responder to be even anywhere in their job is at a scene of an accident. Because not only do you have drunk drivers, you've got people that aren't paying attention, especially now with cell phones.
Oh yeah.
Or they're too busy paying attention, watching what's going on, and they slam into fire trucks or an ambulance or something like that because they're just not paying attention.
Yeah. Well, I've heard stories as well of people sober, but they're driving down like the freeway or highway or whatever, and they end up wrecking into a police car. And then I guess once it's all done and dealt, like it comes out that the reason they wrecked into it is like they were mesmerized by the lights. I guess I guess some flashing lights can put people into seizures, but other lights kind of like zone people out, and then they kind of get, I guess, tunnel vision or some shit, and that made them fucking crash into police cars. So now you'll notice that nowadays police cars generally have a shit ton more, because that's the scientific word for it, a shit ton more lights on their vehicles that flash all over the place, and it's to try and avoid that whole mesmerizing effect. But yeah, this guy.
And I'm curious because, like, usually, because when I was working for the fire department, we would set up landing zones. Like, we would barricade. I mean, in the article they said they blocked off both ways of traffic, or both lanes, or whatever you want to call it. And we always done that. And then usually we would, the police would barricade it like at least a mile away from the scene of the accident. So I'm wondering, like, I'm just curious to see, like, where was how far from the accident were they stopping traffic for the helicopter and for the accident,
right,
and all that kind of stuff.
Well, there's kind of a picture here of the helicopter, and you can see a squad car like in the distance, and I would say maybe 50, 75 meters away, it's kind of blocked off. I mean, they would have had to block off a decent amount of space because they knew this bird was going to be landing.
And then on top of that, like, I'd lost my train of thought. With them blocking off traffic, they also have to deal with people who are sitting there, and it's just not the drunk drivers going through, is where people, they're so impatient, they're trying, like, they'll literally try and, like, turn around there. Yeah, and they're fucking stupid. Yeah. Instead of just sitting there, because sometimes, they try to reroute traffic, but that doesn't always happen because of, wherever you're at. So I'm just kind of curious of how the whole scene was, how the situation went down. And I would like to see the after action report on that whole accident.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to say the least. Hey, so last on Monday, I guess, Faith, one of our loyal followers or listeners, she had sent in a story, and I kind of looked over it, and during my show prep, I completely forgot to put it in the show, like the video portion of it, because the video's kind of the meat and potatoes of it. So I promised her that I'd throw it up on Wednesday, and obviously Wednesday I was sick. So I got it all set for today. And it's kind of interesting. It's about a movie that's coming out, and it's not I guess a mainstream movie. It's more of a documentary type thing. But anyway, it's kind of it's different. And it's definitely something that I would be interested in watching. So it's called National Bird, and it opens in New York City on November 11th, and then in LA and select other cities on November 18th. The National Bird follows the harrowing journey of 3 whistleblowers who are determined to break the silence around one of the most controversial current affairs issues of our times, the secret U.S. drone war. At the center of the film are 3 U.S. military veterans plagued by guilt over participating in the killing of faceless people in foreign countries. They decide to speak out publicly despite the possible consequences. Their story takes dramatic turns, leading one of the protagonists to Afghanistan, where she learns about a horrendous incident. But her journey also gives hope for peace and redemption. National Bird gives rare insight into the U.S. drone program through the eyes of veterans and survivors, connecting their stories as never seen before in a documentary. Its images haunt the audience and bring a faraway issue close to home. So, first of all, if you guys want to kind of read up a little bit more about it, you can go to the website at nationalbirdfilm.com. The trailer, which I'm about to play for you guys, is kind of what enticed me. So check this out. It's pretty interesting, to say the least. So get that. That looks interesting as hell.
No, I agree.
I mean, drones have been around for a while. I mean, we all know that. That's not super secret knowledge. But it'd be interesting to kind of get first-hand take on it. I mean, and I guess these people are now kind of regret their whole involvement in it for one reason or another. So it'd be interesting to kind of find out, you know, what it's about. David's talking about the zit on my face. I know, buddy. I know. I already spoke about it. This fucking thing is annoying as shit. I fucking, man. You know, I even thought about fucking like putting makeup on it, and then I was like, fuck it. Whatever. What's up, puppy dog? Yeah, I hate it, man. Dog. No. Sam, go. Oh my God. He's gonna knock everything over.
Did the article say when it was coming out?
Yes. It's coming out in New York City on the November 11th, and LA and some other cities on November 18th. So it's not going to be one of these widespread things. Let me see. You can see the film in LA, Moscow, England, Cleveland, Ohio, London, England, Olympia, Washington, Brattleboro, Vermont, New York City, Santa Monica, California, Calgary, Canada, Amsterdam, University of Massachusetts Boston Film Series. Yeah, that's about it. And then some other like little places that's not in the US. So yeah, it's not a very widespread film at all. I don't know. Maybe if it gets good ratings and stuff in the movie theaters, they'll be able to go to more places or be on TV or something. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a tug event. Let me see. Okay, I can click something. So let me let me check out. No, it goes. I think it's going direct through the movie theater. So I live in Ohio, so I click Cleveland, and it takes me to Cleveland Cinemas. So I think it's directly through these movie theaters. Let me check. Olympia, Washington. Looks like a dead link. Let's see. LA. International Documentary Association. That's for free tickets. Shit, let me see. In Boston. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. What I do is go to nationalbirdfilm.com if you're interested. And you can check it all out there. But I think it's pretty interesting. The subject alone, and the trailer at least. I mean, I guess it done its job. It's kind of got me interested in it. I probably won't go see it though.
Wait for it to come out on video or DVD or
yeah, something like that.
Pay-per-view or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just reading all these comments.
I know you guys are fascinated by my little buddy on my face. Like it's as if you guys have never seen a
You're
fucking
getting ready
zit
for
before.
Halloween. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it, Phil. I'm secretly going to be a witch. This is stage 1 of my makeup. Oh, my God. Yeah, no, but for Halloween, Mrs. Pie decided that we should go as Superman and Supergirl. So it's going to be real easy. I'm just going to wear like a Superman t-shirt and then like some freaking just regular, I guess, kind of dress pants, maybe even jeans, I don't know. And then a white t-shirt with it kind of like open a bit with like fake fucking glasses. That's it. Boom. Done.
Yeah, so we have our costumes figured out, I think. So Minnie and I, we're going to be Greek goddesses. The boy, he's going to be a Grim Reaper, and my husband is going to dress up as a gorilla, and the boy is going to chase the gorilla around.
Oh, nice. Harambe.
Yeah.
The Grim Reaper's taking Harambe. That was pretty cool.
So it was like last night we went to dinner at this really cool place. It's called Track One in El Paso. If you ever in El Paso, to go there and check it out. Then we went to Walmart afterwards because we had to get a few things, and we're just walking around in the Halloween aisle picking up like last minute things, for the kids' costumes. And there was like this gorilla suit, and I was like, perfect. Like it was like that shining light moment, and the light bulb went off, and I was like, "You're wearing that, John?" And I was like, "He's like, why?" And I was like, "Think about it. Like him, the Grim Reaper, you as Harambe, it's perfect."
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. You got to get video of that.
Oh, I'm going to, and I need to go through Minnie's stuff in her room because we haven't really unpacked all their toys yet, which is kind of a good thing because it's less of a mess to pick up. So I gotta find a baby doll for him to carry around.
Yeah, Timmy wants to know if you found one yet.
Not yet.
You know what you should do? You should find a baby doll and like get a little piece of string or something, or by the hair and feed it in between the fingers so it looks like the gorilla's dragging the baby doll by the hair.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah. So I've had a couple of suggestions now. I could be Cindy Crawford and have this zit as my beauty mark.
There you go.
There was some other ones I can't remember now. Yeah. But
I
there
think
you go.
next year he's going. We're going to find a pickle suit for him to wear, as a dill pickle, and I'm going to be like a female deer, and it'll be like dill and doe. Like dildo.
Okay. I think that would be a bit too complex. Like I would never work that out. It's a bit too complex for me. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't see it as a doe. I'd see it just as a deer, and I'd see it as a pickle. Yeah, I'm kind of dumb like that though. But I mean, some people get it. And I think it's pretty good. So I know we've done this on Monday, but I mean, a lot changes between now and Monday, and essentially this weekend is Halloween, like the entire weekend. Like I got it, Monday is the official Halloween, but all the parties and all that kind of stuff happens tonight and tomorrow. So give us a call, 415-889-8367. Let us know what you're doing for Halloween. And in case you didn't know, US Army WTF Moments has a Halloween costume contest going on. You're going to have to check out the US Army WTF Moments Facebook page. Kind of scroll down a bit, I think. But somewhere on the page, it gives you a list of locations. Like if you're in Fort Bragg, you have to take a picture of you in your costume by Iron Mike. And that's just to, I guess, keep it fair. So you just don't go use the Googleizer and pick up some random picture of some awesome costume. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of prizes that are going to be given out, so you guys can get free stuffs. But yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. Let me see. My daughter and my son. So I got 4 kids, The two oldest are 18 and 16. So my daughter, the 18-year-old, she came up with this awesome idea of both of them dressing up as Tweedledee and Tweedledum, which suits their personalities awesomely. So they went out and just like homemade a freaking costume. They both got like red tights, and then I think it was like a yellow shirt, and then got some ribbon and create suspenders, and then bought like a blue ball cap and put like a fucking helicopter thingy on top. But they actually look pretty funny. They managed to make it work. It looks pretty good. So yeah, so they're doing that, and then my two youngest, one's dressing up as Hello Kitty, and the other one's dressing up as, I don't know, something out of one of them weird, like, I don't think it's Five Nights at Freddy. It's some other like kid thing. I'm not sure, but yeah. So everyone's pretty set. So we're going out tomorrow night. Mrs. Pie's aunt is doing like a Halloween party. So
nice.
Yeah, we're gonna go over there for a little bit. Yeah, and kind of chill out and have some fun. Yeah, so that'd be interesting. Yeah. Oh man, kind of. Speaking of interesting shit, have you guys heard that the U.S. Army will now be putting laser weapons on their vehicles?
Interesting.
Yeah, this is coming from popularmechanics.com. It says the U.S. Army now has firm plans to put laser weaponry on its armored vehicles. The Army and defense contractor General Dynamics are mounting lasers on Stryker interim armored vehicles to shoot down incoming missiles, mortars, drones, and artillery. During the Iraq War, the United States developed the CRAM system to protect bases from rockets and mortar fire. CRAM is basically a land-based version of the Phalanx system that defends U.S. Navy ships. This was a much bigger deal than it was made out to be. The ability to shoot down enemy artillery has been on every Army's wish list for the last 500 years. At the same time, the advent of solid-state and liquid lasers have made them much smaller and thus more viable on the battlefield. The U.S. Navy already has a laser weapon system operational on the USS Ponce, and the U.S. Air Force plans to put them on AC-130 gunships. The other factor pushing laser defenses into reality is that drones have emerged as a major new threat to the U.S. and allied forces. Earlier this month, 2 Kurdish fighters were killed in an incident involving an Islamic State drone rigged with explosives. Anti-drone weapons have also been spotted at U.S. military bases on the front lines against the Islamic State, and the U.S. Air Force has disclosed it downed a IS drone through electronic measures. So I'm gonna put the link in Facebook Live, and I'll also post these links when I throw the podcast up, so you guys can go check all this stuff out. But there's a little video that goes with this. I was gonna kind of put the video together and show you guys, but it's about a 4.5 minute video. To be honest, it's kind of boring. It shows you like a display of what they're currently doing, and it just shoots an invisible laser. One was it looked like a glider or something, some type of aircraft, and it was aimed at the tail. And I guess it was to just disrupt the aircraft so it crashes, which it done. Another one was at a mortar that got fired. The laser hit the mortar and it blew up in the air. And then I stopped watching it because it was really that freaking boring. So yeah, so I mean, it was pretty cool, and it looks like this thing works. I know maybe a year and a half or so ago, I was watching some video that showed, I think it was a striker, had this awesome laser defense system. So it was the system was supposed to protect against RPGs and the stuff like that. So the RPG would fire. So here's your vehicle. The RPG comes along, and literally just before it hits it, like maybe a foot before it hits it, there's like a little box system on the side of the vehicle at top that detects the rocket and immediately fires a laser down that cuts off part of the head of the rocket, so it can no longer, make contact and explode and all that kind of stuff. And it was designed by what's it called? Them super geeks that work for the military. Shit. I can't remember the name. I can't remember what they're called. But it's not reactive armor. This is completely different. It was an actual laser that shot down and cut off part of the warhead. So it wasn't able, because at the front of the RPG you have like that little round metal piece that once it makes enough contact, it connects everything inside, and boom, it cut that part off. So then it was just the head of the RPG that just hit, and it just didn't do anything because it cut off the parts that need to make contact to set everything else off. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty freaking awesome. The problem is it didn't work all the time. I mean, I think it worked like 9 out of 10 times, which is still pretty fucking awesome, because it's better than not having it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened with that. But yeah, so it now looks like they're gonna have lasers to shoot at stuff. It says
it's amazing, like how far they've come in technology and the ability to do this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's like movie, like it's almost like a movie, like stuff that we would be like, yeah, that'll never happen, and now a lot of this stuff is happening.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I remember as a kid, at one point, I had black and white TV in my house. Not because color TV hadn't been invented, but because we just couldn't afford a color TV. So I was watching black and white TV. How many people nowadays, and I mean people by kids or this generation, the generation of today, can say they had to watch black and white TV? I don't even think places do black and white TV anymore. So yeah, I mean, if you look back, say 50 years, the TV was invented, and stuff like that, to today. I mean, technology has taken a huge leap. So can you imagine from today to 100 years from now?
Like the technology with war fighting?
With everything, not just war fighting. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can have flying cars. We already have self-driving cars.
Yeah, I don't know if I want flying cars around. People can't drive as it is, so...
Yeah, I know, right? But talking of self-driving cars and technology, which kind of worked perfectly, really. The Army is testing out self-driving vehicles. This is coming from popski.com. But essentially, they're trying to test out self-driving vehicles so convoys can drive themselves, so it doesn't put people in harm's way.
Now, the self-driving vehicles, they typically they rely on a GPS system. Am I correct? Or there's something that they rely on?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have to have GPS to be able to work out where they're going. And it's not just one GPS system. Like there's a whole bunch of them in there. But self-driving convoys were born from a simple military calculus. The fewer people driving vehicles in convoys, the fewer people will die when then convoys get attacked. In 2004, as the Iraq War entered its second year, DARPA, there you go, that's the geeks I couldn't think of, DARPA offered $1 million to the team of robotic engineers who could make a machine cross 150 miles of the Mojave Desert, and no team succeeded in the first year. And the furthest only covered 7 miles of desert. But 5 teams competed the course of 2005. Since then, driverless vehicles have taken the civilian world by storm, with autopilot a key Tesla feature, and companies like Uber and Alphabet investing in their own autonomous people-carrying machines. More precisely, the Army is testing a leader-follower system as part of its advanced warfighting assessment exercise at Fort Bliss, Texas. 2 humans take control of the main lead vehicle, and then up to 7 other following vehicles are driverless, with autonomous systems guiding them to follow the humans in the lead. That means up to 14 fewer soldiers driving, freeing up their attention for security details instead of navigating the road. Now, while that sounds cool, what that just told me is they're not going to take people out of these vehicles. There's still going to be people in the vehicles. They just won't have to concentrate on driving. They can just concentrate on the environment and stuff like that. This isn't the people-free convoy that driverless technology initially promised. But if the Army adopts leader-follower tech for its supply vehicles, then turning the extra soldiers from drivers into lookouts and guards is still a significant improvement for security and for the safety of all of those traveling. Driving alone is mentally taxing enough, and driving while scanning peripheral vision for sights of a coming ambush might be harrowing. And then it tells you to go watch the video, which I watched and is, again, boring. But that's pretty cool. The Army's looking into all this new tech and different ways of spicing stuff up.
Well, Peter in the Facebook Live chat, he actually brought up a good question. What would happen if we got attacked by an EMP?
Well, I mean, that's kind of been a fear for the longest time, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it has. I mean, I imagine, with, you could override the system and the driver or whoever's in the driver's seat can take over. But even then, cars nowadays are so computerized.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you get hit by an EMP, yeah, I mean, you're screwed. But regardless, even if you didn't have autonomous vehicles in these convoys, you get hit by an EMP, the vehicle's still going to go down. I mean, all the vehicles nowadays have electronic components in them. So whether it's a person behind the wheel or whether it's just being driven by a computer, it's, I mean, you're still going to run into these issues. Man, I am so confused as to why now I'm not able to hear anything.
What do you mean?
On the system, I should be able to hear some kind of music that I play. Now I can't hear anything, which is kind of weird.
It's Monday. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so there's that. Like I said, there's a lot going on this week. Speaking of new tech, Russia has unveiled its new missile, Satan II, which could wipe out France or Texas.
Oh.
Yeah. A Russian-made missile design Russian missile design company has unveiled the first image of a new weapon in Russia's arsenal, the Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile, nicknamed Satan II. The RS-28 Sarmat rocket is capable of wiping out parts of the Earth the size of Texas or France, Russian state news media outlet Sputnik reported in May. The image was published by the Markiev Rocket Design Bureau on its website. Russian Deputy Defense Minister Yuri Brosyov said the Sarmat warhead was capable of destroying targets flying across both North and South Poles. The missile will have a range exceeding 11,000 kilometers, which is about 6,800 miles. The warhead will weigh about 100 tons and is designed as a successor to the R-36 Mike Vol something. That's too much of a Russian word for me. According to a statement posted on the marker's website, the Sarmat is designed to provide strategic Russian forces with a guaranteed and effective fulfillment of nuclear deterrence tasks, and is being co-developed with the Russian military. The Rocket Design Bureau's website describes it as one of the largest research and design centers in Russia for the development of rocket and space technology. NATO has been bolstering its defenses in countries along the Russian border amid growing concerns about Moscow's military direction. NATO defense ministers are currently meeting in Brussels to discuss the situation, as well as the fight against ISIS. Earlier this month, Moscow announced that it was suspending an arms reduction agreement with the US in which both countries agreed to dispose of 34 tons of plutonium, enough for thousands of nuclear bombs, over what is called Washington's unfriendly actions towards Russia. Yeah, so not only are they building fucking more super cool missiles, they're stopping the treaty, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, there's that. Man, a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, it's, I guess, throughout the election, sorry guys, I hate to bring it up, they keep bringing up, Russia and nuclear weapons. It just seems like they're so focused on nuclear weapons and not other form of weaponry from not just Russia, but any other, enemies of ours.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Russia and war and stuff, there was out of the early polling that has already kind of gone on, I guess it's somewhat been announced that there's Hillary's in the lead as far as it comes to votes from World War I veterans.
Okay.
Maybe that went way over your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every World War I veteran is dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Hillary's already got their votes.
Got it.
Oh, it's Friday, Mom. It's Friday.
Yeah, and it's it's early here, and I got up kind of late, so I'm still trying to wake up.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm kind of off my game today. I don't know why. I think it's because I missed Wednesday. Yeah. So I feel lost for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why.
Well, it's Friday night, so.
Yes, it is.
Or Friday, not Friday night yet. I was thinking of Friday night fuckery tonight, so.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh, and.
Yes.
Oh man. I'm glad you reminded me of that, Mom, because we have a guest tonight.
Yes, we do.
Oh man, and I have to check in to make sure, confirm it. Wow, I completely forgot. Whew. Yeah.
And then, of course, we have Drink That Tune.
Yes. Why don't you tell everyone about tonight and what's going on, Mom?
Well, I know for tonight, our guest it's Paul from Article 15. He helped coordinate the event with the Freedom On Festival. So he'll be on to talk about, I guess his involvement and stuff like that, and what he does for Article 15. And then afterwards, like the last hour of the show, the show starts tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then, so about into the last hour of the show, we will play Drink That Tune. In order to win the sticker or bumper sticker, what do you want to call it, you have to be in our live chat at www.wtfnationradio.com in order to win. And tonight's it's a special theme tonight, so, and I'm not going to give it up because you can earn extra bonus points for guessing the theme in the chat room.
There you go.
So, and then, of course, throughout the week, next Friday, we have George from the Fallen Angel Aviators Foundation coming on and to talk about his organization, what he does, because they were the charitable organization that was there where we raised money for to help those people out.
Yes. So there's kind of a lot going on. It's good things. D-Max failed at life, and I kind of let him off. So on Monday, I put D-Max in charge of reminding me to put together the Friday safety brief, because I normally give you guys a preview of the Friday safety brief. Well, that's kind of gone to the wayside over the past few weeks because of different reasons. But D-Max said he was up for the challenge and that he would remind me to do it. Well, I never got any kind of reminder. So good job, D-Max, you're fired. But I was also sick or recovering from being sick yesterday, so I wasn't really in any kind of shape to do it regardless. So I will do a Friday safety brief for next week. I'm going to have to do it put it in big letters down here or something. I do answer Facebook, D-Max. All you got to do is send the message to the page, and if I don't see it, someone will see it, and they'll hit me up. That's how things work. It's called communication.
I'll remind you too.
Yeah, there we go. So I normally do the Friday safety brief every Thursday, which gives me kind of enough time to put it together and ready for Friday. So yeah. So that's about it. Make sure you guys tune in tonight for Friday Night Fuckery. Paul is the I guess the events manager, director, whatever you want to call it. He's the events guru for Article 15.
Essentially, he's the event planner.
Yeah. So if you guys want to find out about any Article 15 stuff that may be up and coming, then tune in tonight. I mean, and maybe ask him. This a good way to find some stuff out. He may even know about some trade secrets that he may be willing to give away about any up and coming movies that Article 15 may be involved in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So again, if you guys want to find out about that, then tune in tonight and ask him. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's an idea. I was going to take a break, but with the fact that I can't hear music or anything, and I don't know if anyone can hear music on your end. Can you guys even hear the music? Because I'm playing stuff right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, though. Yeah. So if not, there's some gremlins in the system, and I got to work that stuff out now. Yeah. Huh. I don't know. But if you can't hear the music, which is saying you cannot, then I'm have to do something else. So if we go over here, what we can do, What am I doing? I've kind of... Now, here we go. If we go over here, and then we go... then we go here.
It's endless.
Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, we can do it this way. Yeah, check this out. You guys don't get to see anything, but you definitely get to hear it. So check this out, and we'll be back in a few moments.
All right, knuckleheads, horseshoe around me, and let's get this thing started. It's that time of week again. Time to stand here, pretend to listen to me talk, while in reality, you'll just think
This Halloween,
Dante's hell isn't fiction, it's prophecy. In 6 days.
all right, knuckleheads, horseshoe around me, and let's get this thing started. It's that time of week again. Time to stand here, pretend to listen to me talk, while in reality, you're just thinking about how fucked up you're gonna get tonight. That's right, it's time for your Friday safety brief. Where do I begin? How about with how bad y'all fucked up this week? Oh, and before I forget, order some more dry sweep. Somehow, y'all managed to use all of it this week. That being said, here's the motherfucking rundown. Don't stage a convoy consisting solely of golf carts. Don't leave your sex toys in the PX parking lot. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. Just get a bigger hammer. Don't let the XO use slave cables. Don't leave your motor pool without checking your fuel gauges. If you go to the PX in your Stormtrooper armor, make sure your CAT card is readily available to present to the MPs who will inevitably stop you. Don't lock your soldiers in the motor pool. Don't use a flamethrower to remove hornets' nest. Don't let Wookiees fly Apaches. Don't mix marshmallows and cabbage. As always, don't let Carl drive anything. Don't steal the chaplain's clothes out of his gym locker. Don't use your ACH as a chalk block for strikers. For the 12 billionth time, don't get your hair cut at the barracks. And for the love of God and Uncle Sam, don't walk on the fucking grass. That being said, females. Your homework for this weekend is to review AR 670-1, Chapter 3, Paragraphs 1 and 2. As a rule of thumb, if your hair weighs more than your rucksack, or the color resembles any type of Easter egg dye, you might not be in regulations. Tracking. Look, just find something to do this weekend to stay out of trouble. Here's an idea. Go check out WTF Nation Radio. There'll be a surprise celebrity guest tonight. So go over to WTFNationRadio.com to find out who it is and listen in. And for the rest of you, promise me this. At some point this weekend, you'll take a moment to stop, look in the mirror, and ask yourself why you do what it is that you do. If y'all spent as much time preparing for your future as y'all did looking for loopholes and regulations, we wouldn't even have to do this every week. But until that hell freezes over, rest assured, I'll be here. I ain't got nothing else for you knuckleheads. On the command to fall out, fall out, fall out!
No lie, I'ma
I'ma kill a homie all time. Never quitting, I be spitting to the beat stop. Even then, I'ma take this pen for that bitch to the pad and make it spin. I'm winning like Charlie Sheen. I'm a fiend for the green like a pothead bee. Look at these hoes, they jocking me. I got albums out and they not for free. Acting hard, but you not a G. Stephen Hobbs is a prodigy. For all the hoes that's dogging me, I'm waiting for your apology. Every time you hear me yelling, I be killing every beat that I'm on. This Redcon 1, I'm a straight up murder every song. To the dead, I'm dead and gone.
All day, all night on the grind, just putting in that work. Welcome to my life.
Never gonna quit. All day, all night on my grind, just putting in that work, dog. Welcome to my life. Never gonna stop. All day, all night on my grind, just putting in that work, yeah. Welcome to my life. Never gonna quit.
All day, all night, I'm on my grind, just putting in that work, yeah. Welcome to my life.
My team's so cold and we dirty. Your team's so old and you thirsty. I be so bold when I call them out. That team gon' fall begging mercy. Come on, welcome to the show. They gather around when I do my flow. Paint pictures, oh so incredible. Gotta let them know Jay is too lyrical. When I let it go, when I spit a flow. Oh, never for the dough, and I'm gonna go. Had a lot of anger, gotta let it go, let it go. Drop a couple bangers and they better blow. Never know, but you gotta give it all. Yeah, no breaks when I'm driving on. No rest, no sleep, no breaks, no second takes in this life that I'm living on. Never quit.
I would never quit, I kept on going. Rise like Moonbeam, kept on growing. Hated by many, but I kept on flowing. Wolf out in my cup and I kept on pouring. Eyes on the prize and my progress showing. Now I'm quoted like a Shakespeare poem. Now they like that sensei, I know him. I got every CD, yeah, I own them. Raycon 1 be the team with me, just like Sprite is with that Hennessy. My team so cold, yeah, so cold. We run this game like a referee. While some of y'all stay mad at me, y'all off the team and wasn't meant to be. We Raycon 1 and the G, y'all never gonna stop reality.
All day, all night on the grind, just putting in that work. Welcome to my life.
Never gonna quit. All day, all night on my grind, just putting in that work, dog. Welcome to my life. Never gonna stop. All day, all night on my grind, just putting in that work, yeah. Welcome to my life. Never gonna quit.
All day, all night, I'm on my grind, just putting in that work, yeah. Welcome to my life. I can never stop, it's not in my DNA. I can never quit, better check my resume. Stay cooking up these bars like eggs and grits. To y'all, I'm in the kitchen. To me, I'm in the gravel pit. Watch who you talking to, or where you swinging at. The place that I've been, better never catch you walking there. If it's gas, it must be wet. Disrespect, I disconnect. I'm living that life, you living that lie. Listen as I testify.
You flipping fables, you suck, it's just his enable. Your squadron thinking they shining, but none of them got no labels. Maybe I'm just a cocky prick, popping off when I'm with my clique. All of y'all want to stop the kid, but I'm not till I pocket it. Apocalyptic, so prescriptive. My team was cold, but now it's frigid. Ever since I came to win the listed with RC1MG, who missed it? I may be twisting, my gears are lightweight shifted, but I'm not quitting until the day I get it. It's that simplistic.
All day, all night on the grind, just putting in that work. Welcome to my life.
Never gonna quit. All day, all night on my grind, just putting in that work, dog. Welcome to my life. Never gonna stop. All day, all night on my grind, just putting in that work, yeah. Welcome to my life. Never gonna quit.
All day, all night, I'm on my grind, just putting in that work, yeah. Welcome to my life.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. So I had to kind of improvise there since my music stuff isn't working. Like I don't know what's going on with it. I have no idea. But there you go. So we're back. Now I know. Was it Monday or was it Friday? I can't remember. My days are all messed up. But we spoke about the California National Guard having to repay some of their enlistment and re-enlistment bonuses.
Correct.
Because I guess some people weren't eligible, so they shouldn't have received them in the first place. Well, you may or may not have heard that the Secretary of Defense, Ash Carter, suspended, I guess, the repayment until they could sort stuff out. So I guess there was some type of system in place that would prevent hardships for people paying this money back. But apparently the system that is in place is really, really, really slow. So it really wasn't worth a shit. So Secretary of Defense Ash Carter suspended the repayment stuff until they could sort out this hardship program. I guess Congress is real pissed off about this whole thing, and they are demanding the Pentagon stop forcing troops to pay back bonuses. This is coming from AmericanMilitaryNews.com. It says Congress is furious after roughly 10,000 California National Guard troops have been ordered to pay the Pentagon back their recruitment bonuses. An investigation discovered that the California National Guard abused the money and paid out the bonus money to many that were ineligible to receive the bonuses in the first place. After intense media and congressional fury, Pentagon officials are now trying to waive the troop debt, and Congress is threatening to pass a law to resolve the issue. Regardless if the soldier were able to receive the bonus or not, it is the Pentagon and California National Guard that is responsible for determining who is responsible and doling out the bonuses. In most cases, soldiers do not know if they are eligible or not because individual soldiers are not responsible for determining the requirements of bonus and enlistment bonus distribution. A Los Angeles Times report revealed the California National Guard officials demanded that thousands of National Guardsmen will have to return bonuses of up to $15,000 that were offered to help recruit part-time troops during the Iraq War in the 2000s. In September, 42 auditors found that after reviewing the bonuses and payments, 9,700 members were awarded the money when they weren't supposed to receive it. Chief of Federal Policy for the California Guard, Andreas Mueller, emailed California's members of Congress on Monday, reminding them that incorrect reenlistment bonuses were awarded to thousands of soldiers and brought to the attention of federal lawmakers. Mueller added that California was the only state that audited the payments, meaning that other states could be impacted by these payback requests. A federal investigation multiple years ago found fraud and mismanagement by California Guard officials led to awarding $20 million in bonuses and student loan payments to soldiers that were not qualified for them or were not meant to receive the payment. The bonuses were given to the Guardsmen because of a struggling recruiting goals to meet the need for more frequent combat deployments. Even though state officials have pleaded guilty to making fraudulent claims, the service members who enlisted are being required to pay back the bonuses, causing financial hardships on many of them because they already spent the money that they were improperly awarded. If they don't pay back the money, as we had said on Monday, they will be facing interest charges or tax liens. Members of Congress are seeking an official inquiry to waive the debts. I am outraged that our service members and veterans are being asked to repay bonuses and benefits promised to them when they answered the call to serve our nation, Representative Julia Brownlee, a Democrat representing the 26th District, said in a statement on Monday. She also says, I intend to introduce legislation as soon as Congress returns to waive repayment, and will work with my colleagues to ensure a full accounting of how this mismanagement occurred. Duncan Hunter, a Republican who represents the 50th District, wrote a letter to Defense Secretary Ashton Carter to express his displeasure with the payback demands. He said, I find it difficult to believe that either you or your leadership team was aware that such a boneheaded decision was made to demand repayment, and I ask that you utilize your authority to influence a solution, including a possible legislative fix if determined necessary, that's in the best interest of the individuals and families impacted. Several other members of Congress have written to Carter appealing to waive the debts. The Pentagon said that the troops who are facing the payback demands should file an appeal with the Defense Department's Office of Hearing and Appeals. This has the attention of our leadership, and we are looking at this to see what we can do to assist, Navy Captain Jeff Davis, a Pentagon spokesman, said on Monday. We take doing the right by our service members very seriously, and the senior leadership of this department is looking very closely at this matter. And it goes on, blah, blah, blah. I served 2 years in Iraq and then came home in 2011 to find out the California Army National Guard did not have the correct paperwork, and I was required to pay back the bonus. They took $3,000 out for taxes, but I had to pay back the full $10,000. How do I get that $3,000 back? The California National Guard says it is not their problem. I have to work with the IRS. This does not sit well with me, as they took that money. That was coming from someone anonymously. So yeah, so get that. It's at least Congress is stepping in and saying, "Hey, this is bullshit, and you guys need to fix it." Oh yeah, it's. I mean, like we said on Monday. Bullshit. Yeah, like we said on Monday, it's not the service members' problem. I mean, their job is not a recruiter or a retention NCO. It's not on them to make sure the paperwork is correct. Yes, they have the responsibility to look over the paperwork and make sure it's correct as it pertains to them, but they're not trained on how contracts should look, if they're entitled to certain stuff or not. They rely on the freaking recruiters and retention NCOs for that information. So it's on them. So as I said on Monday, they shouldn't have to repay this shit. The Army, and I say that because it's the recruiters and everyone else that was involved. So the Army is responsible for that. The Army screwed up. So the Army should have to pay for that. And, you know.
Exactly. And they should pay for those that, you know, that they went after and who have paid. Like you said, that gentleman where they took the $3,000, they should give that back.
Yeah, they should.
And then also fix any financial hardship that it's caused.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah. So not only if people have already paid this stuff back, they should have to repay it back to the people, tax-free, because they shouldn't have to get fucking taxed on it again. Or if they have to get taxed on it, then they should get extra money. That extra money would be what would be taxed out. So what I mean is, if I've paid back $10,000 that I got as a bonus, then you need to pay me $10,000 plus what I would have been taxed. So $10,000, you get taxed about $3,000, so I would end up with $7,000. So you need to pay me like $15,000 because $5,000 is going to go to taxes. So that way I still have that $10,000. So you guys need to adjust and do all that kind of stuff and make it happen. And like you said, Mom, you know, if I've got financial hardships now because of directly relating to having to pay that money back, the Army or the Department of Defense, I mean, however you want to say it, they should be responsible for fixing that. So if that means giving me more money to erase whatever debts that I'm now in because of it, or fixing whatever credit issues I have now because it's directly related to that, or whatever the case may be, they should be financially responsible for that. Like I said, I can see some kind of court, was it class action?
Congressional investigation?
Well, I think that's going to happen anyway. I mean, that's kind of what they said in the article. They want to push for that. But I can see some kind of class action lawsuit happening, you know, which is essentially a way of saying a group of people are going to fucking sue them.
And they should. They rightfully should.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Can they do that?
Of course they can. I mean...
Well, I know, like, as you know, when you're active duty and in the Army, you can't sue the Army if, you know, if a doc fucks something up.
Right, but you're now out of the Army. And now they're forcing you to repay this money. Yeah, you can sue them now. You know, and even if there is some kind of stipulation or some kind of weird law that says that you can't, then fine. Then I'll have Mrs. Pye sue them because she can sue them. Even if I am active duty and I'm not able to sue the Army or Department of Defense, Mrs. Pye can. I mean, she's not covered under the same rules and regulations that I am. So even if there is some kind of weird law or regulation that says even after I'm out, I can't sue for anything that happened while I was in, Mrs. Pye can, because now she is under the same financial hardships as I am. So, yeah, I mean, so she can do that. I can see that happening if they don't fix this thing and fix this thing quick. And I mean, fix this thing to include, like you said, Mom, is the whole, any circumstances that continued after, like extra debt and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think it was bullshit to start with. I think I can understand an investigation because people screwed up, but
I'm wondering at what level where the fuck up was, you know, like,
well, I mean,
was it with the basic, you know, the recruiters?
Well, yeah, well, it was,
but then, or was it higher?
It was both.
Like,
it was at all levels. Like the basic screw up was at the recruiter level, because the recruiter let it happen. The recruiter was the one that put together the paperwork. Now, depending on how high up it went to the people that said, hey, give everybody a bonus, if that's what they said, or hey, give all these MOSs a bonus, that's where it kind of gets messed up at. That's where it kind of gets shady, because you don't know how high up it was, and who at what level it was that said, hey, make this happen. WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air.
Hey, Pye, what's that growing out of your face there?
I know, man. This is it. We've already spoke about this like 400 times. But, yeah.
You know how to fix that, right?
I'm either going to be Cindy Crawford for Halloween or just a witch.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were putting on your costume. Hey, just to let people know, first of all, you can sue the Army if you have a contract issue.
Okay.
Right? Now, based on things that occurred in the military, you know, your leadership told you to do something, follow some order or what have you, of course you can't sue for that. But contractual agreements made between you and another party, you can sue. For example, I think, this is James, by the way. I'm not sure if you realize.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Anyhow, you can go out and sue for contractual issues that occur. So all these guys are going to be able to go get their money back. And they will, right? I mean, come on. We just said that we're going to spend, you know, more money for 20 more F-35s. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Cut it by 19, and we can pay everybody what they owe. You know, so it's going to get resolved. I told you that last time, and mark my words, it'll get resolved.
Now, do you think it will be resolved to the point where they end up not only paying back the bonuses to these people, but any financial hardships caused, like Mom says, let's say I pay it back and now I had to take out a second mortgage. Are they going to make sure that's taken care of?
Yeah, that's in question, right? I mean, they're probably going to take that to court. And you were right when you said there could possibly be a class action. Because it was contractual agreement, tort law would apply here. There could be a class action that could, you know, settle some of that. It's really hard to say, but they will get the bonus. That's for sure.
I mean, you would think.
If they want anything else, they're going to have to really go out and get a lawyer and sue for it.
You would think that they would have to, in some regard at least, make sure that any financial hardship you have suffered is taken care of. Because, I mean, they do that in basic lawsuits anyway. You know,
now you have to go prove damage, right? So
right.
There are people who, as you stated, went out and took out mortgages and did other, you know, financial steps to pay it back, and probably did suffer hardship. I don't disagree with that. Not to mention, it's going to be hard to pull that out of the IRS. But you can write off losses with the IRS. We all know Donald Trump wrote off almost $1 billion at work. So, you know, to get $3,000 back, they can do the same thing. And so I don't know if that's beneficial or not, but the truth is, you're right. Any hardship, they're going to have to probably litigate that. The military's not going to pay that back. You know that.
Yeah.
They only do that for defense contractors.
You would think that someone, when all this kind of came out, instead of saying, "Hey, we're going to make these guys repay the bonus," you would have think someone would have thought, "Hey, is there a way that we can just essentially wipe this from the books legally, not trying to hide it, but say, hey, we've already paid these fucking dudes. It's not their fault. We need to work out a way to fix this instead of asking for this money back." You would have thought someone would have fucking come up with that idea.
Yeah, and it shows you how the military has changed, right? I mean, I retired in 2010, to be honest with you, and the military between then and now has changed drastically. Actually, just government in general, if you think about it, has just changed drastically. And so the point I'm trying to make here is the military is really focused on social reengineering, making sure they pay transgenders to use the opposite sex bathroom, and they're not really worried about these other people, you know. And that is a joke, but the truth is that seems to be where their head's at. And I think Congress is going to turn around, and they're going to make sure this is fixed.
Yeah.
Believe me.
You know,
because they know what it looks like, right? I mean, we're paying illegals, you know, $700 a month cash, housing and food money, but we're taking away from veterans in terms of retirement and now bonuses. Are you
Right.
kidding? None of this looks good.
You know, it's kind of weird you said that, because the Army is nowadays, all it's interested in, as far as it seems, is this image. As long as they look good, they are good. That seems to be the mentality.
If you don't think that's politics, you're crazy. Look at how many generals have been fired over the past 7 years, right? That were in DOD high levels, all replaced. That's how I think politics always does that. But so it reflects whatever the White House wants, right?
Right.
And you see a moral decline in terms of the way I think, perhaps the way you think, because you know we've seen the military from the past. But can you imagine basic training now? I have a friend who he's a Marine drill sergeant. He just moved from California to South Carolina, Parris Island. You should see how they do boot now. I mean, it's almost like you have to, you know, kiss them goodnight. It's amazing.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because I got a buddy that just became a drill sergeant. They're doing their first, I guess their first cycle ever. So I might get them on at some point when they got like a day off or some shit, and have them come on and explain what it's like compared to even when they went through basic. Because I'm pretty sure shit has changed drastically.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, right? Can we ever put Humpty Dumpty back together again is how I look at this thing. It's pretty scary to me, you know. I mean, we're in a climate where we have to pick between two candidates, for example, politically. And I think everybody questions, you know, one's really unknown, and come on, let's face it, one's really an immature, vile, foul-mouthed son of a bitch my 9-year-old granddaughter can out-debate. But, you know, at least he runs a business.
Right.
And the other is, as we're learning, the most crooked, corrupt, lying piece of shit ever on the planet. WikiLeaks makes her look bad every hour.
Yeah.
Yet people don't change their minds. And so, you know, where are we going from here? Yeah, and, you know, you're talking about Russia earlier. You know, the truth is there's more of a threat from Russia and China today than there's ever been in my lifetime, and I went through the Cold War. And that should be a scary thought on everybody's mind.
Wow. So you truly believe Russia's a bigger threat now than they were during the Cold War?
Absolutely. They're building nukes like no tomorrow. Plus, not to mention, we had a person by the name of Clinton approved 20% of our uranium went to him, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, absolutely. Everything is a threat right now because look what Russia's trying to do. They want the Baltics back, right? And you have a man by the name of Putin, right? As much as Donald Trump loves him and thinks he's a great leader, and by the way, I'm not a Hillary fan, don't get me wrong, but Trump's words come across wrong. I don't think he
Yeah.
meant it that way. But my point is Putin, what was he? He was the KGB leader, right? I mean,
Yep.
this guy ran the KGB. He was in the KGB during the Cold War. He wants to put Russia back. You think for 1 minute he's out to work with us? No.
Oh, no. I read an article, and I wanted to kind of talk about it today, and I can't find it again. But Russia has offered to have, I guess, Russian diplomats help oversee the election process. The reasons they gave is they wanted a bit of an insight into the way, I guess, the Western world does elections and blah, blah, blah. I guess it was put as so they can see what happens, so they can kind of introduce it into their country, which, I mean, it's dumb enough that you can see straight through it as a cover-up. But, yeah, I mean, Russia's just pushing that envelope. And they constantly have been. And, you know, the Obama administration hasn't done shit.
Well, I mean, when
we did a
you know
reset on Hillary.
the last re-election, I've said this before on the show several times. Like Mitt Romney brought up, he constantly brought up that Russia was a threat, and then Obama and of course his administration kept saying it. They kept denying it. They're like, no, Russia's not a threat. It's not a threat. But now, you know, the Democrats are like, oh yeah, Russia is a threat. Like, really? They've always been a fucking threat.
Well, I mean, if you just look at the current campaign, the election campaign, everybody, even Hillary, is somewhat turning her back on Obama and saying, yeah, he's done fucked up. Yeah, the current administration hasn't done this, hasn't done that. Because, I mean, she has to at this point. She can't just keep on agreeing with him. I mean, for the most part, she done what she did to essentially keep her job. And now that she's running for presidency, she has to turn her back on him somewhat to be able to get that opportunity to be president. You know
It's funny about the WikiLeaks thing in Russia. You hear the Democrats always blaming Russia for WikiLeaks. And by the way, I'm not sure I dispute it, but I know WikiLeaks grabs stuff from everywhere. But I seen yesterday that, you know, Putin's 18 months out from a re-election, and he's starting a campaign in Russia, you know, however that is, with guns at people's heads or whatever, standing like the mafia saying, vote for me. Anyways, WikiLeaks is now dumping on him, you know, bad stuff. So it's a double-edged sword there that he's messing with.
Yeah. You know, Trump, kind of going back to one of the comments you made, Trump isn't the most, I guess, viable candidates for the presidency because he does speak before he thinks a lot of the time. And the way he says shit probably isn't the best way to say it. There's probably better ways to send across the same message. But I mean, like you said, Hillary is corrupt as hell. I mean, most politicians are corrupt. I mean, they have to wheel and deal to get what they want. I mean, if you want a particular bill to go through, I mean, you're going to wheel and deal to get the votes that you need to get it passed. So it is what it is. But I don't think, as far as I know, I don't think there's been any politician that has been openly as corrupt as she has, or as far as evidence and other stuff coming forward to show how corrupt she has been. But yet, people are still willing to vote for her. Well, I mean, forget people willing to vote for her. The fact that she's still able to run and there hasn't been any kind of super inquiry about everything that's come to light is ridiculous.
Well, when you look at the Clinton Foundation, you know, it should have opened everyone's eyes as to what America is now, and that's we're a banana republic. When you look at the IRS, the FBI, the DOJ, you know, all facets of government have been corrupted by a political party. You know, not just the Clintons. I mean, you can go to Obama. The DOJ, I mean, the FBI, that's not a muffed investigation we just learned through WikiLeaks, right? I mean, we just seen that the lead investigator was paid by, from Clinton's paid the lead investigator of the FBI over Hillary Clinton's case over $500,000 to try and get his wife elected in a Virginia race, of which, by the way, she didn't make it past the primary.
Right.
But the bottom line is they paid him off.
Yeah.
And we've seen the results. That makes us a banana republic. We
Well-
may as well call ourselves Venezuela.
I mean, if you look at it as well, James Comey, the director of the FBI, he wants immunity to be in order for him to talk about the investigation. DMAX wrote, breaking news, FBI reopened the email about 10 minutes ago. Not really, because a few days ago, maybe a week ago, I had heard that they were reopening the email case, which is at the same time. That's when James Comey requested complete immunity from prosecution.
And Trey Gowdy was like, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, for his portion of, I guess, giving up the facts of what happened. And like Mom said, Trey Gowdy was like, hell no, that ain't going to happen. You're going to answer the fucking questions that's asked.
No, but you know what's going to happen, right? I mean, there's a very smart guy. You see him. I don't know if anybody watches Fox News anymore because I can't stand that bitch, Megyn Kelly. Apologize.
Yeah.
Or even that Shepard Smith fuck, because they love fucking Hillary. But anyways, bottom line, there's a guy that goes on there all the time, Judge Napolitano. Have you ever seen him? He used to be a federal court judge.
I think so, yes.
He said, and he went through, and he said, the president can pardon anybody. Anybody. You don't even have to have a case before him. You don't have to have anything illegal. He can just, write a blank check. So they got get-out-of-jail cards, every one of them. If Hillary doesn't win, she'll be pardoned. As a matter of fact, most presidents, I didn't know this, they pardon themselves on the way out of office so that the other party can't, go against them later on, right?
Really?
Yeah, they do that because they can't. A pardon is in the Constitution. It's a blank check. It's a get-out-of-jail card. There's no requirement.
Oh, so they can't be held liable for anything they done as under the presidency?
In a way, it makes sense, right, when you think about it. But what you're going to see is just how banana republic we are on his way out. If, for some reason, Trump wins, which, the media pundits trying to tell you they don't, but we're learning that the polls are kind of skewed and, overweighted a lot.
Yeah.
But if for some reason wins, you're going to see it all pardoned. If it doesn't, you're going to see Hillary going and pardon everybody, then Obama doesn't have to do it. Because we now know through WikiLeaks he knew about her email server and he lied to the American public.
Oh, yeah. Like, that in itself should be enough to impeach him. I mean, I got it. There's not enough time to impeach him. But still, I think it's the point of, impeach him for it.
America is so divided, though, right now. They don't care if each of their candidates go out and shoot somebody in the head on 5th Street, as Trump would tell you. They don't care. They just hate the other side.
Yeah.
And that's a bad thing. We don't have any uniter. The Reagan days are over, But I just don't see it.
Yeah, the politics...
No matter who wins, we're in for a rough road the next 4 years.
Yeah, the politics is so corrupt nowadays. And it's not even in the shadows corruption. It's all out in the open now. I mean, like I said, with the amount of stuff that's come out against Hillary and how her campaign has been running, as well as other, Democratic campaigns, and yet essentially no one bats an eye. It's just business as usual. It is mind-blowing. I don't know how that ever happens. And another thing, the Hillary campaign has been pushing hard against Trump and some of the dumb shit Trump has said and done, and how he disrespects women and all that kind of stuff. But yet, if you look at some of the Trump rallies, you have Hillary supporters, women, that turn up essentially topless, maybe with like nipple pasties or some shit on, protesting against Trump being against women or whatever it is that the message they're trying to push. Now, you can't get much more fucking contradictory than that.
Well, it's not about that, right? I mean, did you see what just happened? They had a 11th woman come out against, saying Trump, groped her or whatever. But this time, it's been so far over the hill with all these women coming out the last 3 weeks that people just ignored it to include the news. They're like, "Oh wow, you guys you're going too far here." I wouldn't be surprised if they try throwing 5 out tomorrow or something ridiculous. But I'll be honest with you, and this going back to the women in the booth thing, Madonna sat and offered everybody a blowjob.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Actually, I'm actually thinking about it. I'm thinking about contacting her.
So am I. I wonder if I can sue her for not giving me a blowjob, and make millions of dollars off of that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I thought that was interesting.
I mean, how many people do you think is
There's
actually
somebody
going to
who
take her
sits
up on that?
And is sitting there saying, women are defiled and all this crap, but all these people, as you pointed out, with the boobs and Madonna saying blowjobs, or it's hypocrite, right? I mean, hypocrite.
It is hypocritical. I mean, for these women to go out there and do this and then turn around and say that there's sexism, and all that kind of shit, like, really, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus, she just done a concert, and she was speaking out against Trump and how Trump hates women and is derogatory against women and stuff. But yeah, she performed her entire concert topless. Now, I'm not against chicks being topless and stuff. I'm just saying, if you're going to push a message, don't then be contradictory about the way you then do things. I mean...
But,
go ahead.
I was going to say, if these women, if they don't want to be, like, identified as sex objects, like what Megyn Kelly said, then don't put yourself out there like a sex object.
Right.
Oh, by the way, I loved how Newt trashed her. And if you go back and look at what Megyn Kelly has dressed up like, and she was a model, you'll sit and say, what the hell? I mean, she likes sex. I agreed with Trump on that, or Newt. I
mean, everyone does. I mean, every male at some point in their life, goes through the whole, I guess, quote unquote locker room talk type shit. Every chick at some point in her life goes through the sexy type shit where they get dressed up and show some cleavage and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's I guess it's human behavior. It's just natural. It just is what it is. So trying to push an agenda against the shit you've done.
In 1980, I went to the U.S. Army boot camp, right, in Fort Benning, Georgia, and I sang dirtier songs, running PT and cadence than what he said. I mean, at least.
Yeah, I remember some of the shit that we used to do for cadence. Yeah, it's half of these people that get quote unquote offended are really not fucking offended. It's it reminds me of that whole Christian thing where people want to preach how good of a Christian you should be and how offended they are when people don't live the Christian values and stuff like that, and they go to church every Sunday, but then every other day of the week they cuss, they do whatever they want, they act in a completely opposite Christian way, but because they go to church on Sunday and because they want to preach to other people how they live Christian values, everything's okay. It's fucking ridiculous.
Hypocritical,
yeah. It's.
No, I'll be honest with you. One of the worst, the biggest reason I will not vote for Hillary, and I'm preaching my Christian values, is when Trump hit her up on the late term abortion. Just before conception, she would do it. She never said no. Meaning she's up to killing babies right as they're born. That was it. I mean, every American should have been just stunned by that revelation. And I was shocked they weren't. It just taught me we're all so divided. We've been torn apart as a nation, and I don't know how to put it back together again.
Well, people hear what they want to hear. They see what they want to see. Again, if it pushes their particular agenda, then that's what they're about. They don't want to hear anything that is against their beliefs and what they hear and think. I mean, if you look at it this way, all right? So if you're an avid Trump supporter, all the stuff that comes out about Trump, even the shit that is true, you're not going to let it phase you. Whatever, okay, that's bullshit. He didn't mean it in that way, or it was just locker room talk, or it is what it is. You're just going to let it just go in one ear out the other because you have your beliefs or you have a particular way you think or feel, and that's just it. The same with Hillary. If you're an avid Hillary supporter, you're going to kind of somewhat defend or deflect the things that she's done. Oh, it was emails. She was, she didn't do it on purpose. Blah 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 blah. So it's very hard to change someone's views about how they feel.
Actually, with Trump, I'll be honest. I work for a Fortune 500 tech company. One you'd know it's in most everybody's computers, and I've seen people that all they care about is the establishment busted up. That's all they care about. And what I mean by that is, Trump is their means to destroying the establishment. They don't care if it's left or right establishment. They want somebody who can get in there and blow it up. What Trump offered that no other candidate in the history of the nation offered. First, he will be the first billionaire, no matter that will have ever been able to buy his way into politics, the presidency.
Mm-hmm.
But what he offers blowing up all the establishment. That's why everybody's against him, whether it's the media, the Republicans, it doesn't matter. And people don't care that he's violent. They care that he walks in there and disrupts it like no tomorrow.
Yep.
The question is, will it work? Because, I have friends, most of us didn't want to vote for this guy. Like I said, to me, he's a vile mouth, and I'm a vile mouth. I don't know why that pisses me off. What pisses me off is a man doesn't have the professional, fortitude.
Right.
Stand there and debate without parroting lines that my 9-year-old can parrot better.
Right.
Please, I would have ripped Hillary in every one of these debates a new ass.
But then,
all I heard from him was the same 5 lines.
Just because he doesn't know how to debate, does that mean he's not able to run, the presidency? For example, we all know these people that didn't do great in PT. I mean, they passed, but they were average in PT. But when it comes to every other aspect of their job or performance, they outsmoked everybody. But they were mediocre when it came to PT. So, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. He obviously knows how to run a fucking business. He obviously knows how to select the right people to help run his business. So just because he doesn't know how to debate, is that a killer? He obviously knows how to negotiate.
Where you're coming from, right? You have different levels, right? We all information run at the slowest runner's pace.
Right.
I agree with what you're saying, but my point is a lot of people were thinking that way. I know how they all voted in the end because I'm from a state where we get to mail in our ballots, which is good, and we all told each other what we voted, right? But my point is I'm not going to throw my vote away because Hillary scares me more.
Right.
But I'm just letting you know that there's a chunk of people that, if you really go out and you look at statistically where Trump sits within the GOP, Trump never had over 30% of the GOP party, ever, not once. He's the first person to ever win the primary and didn't have 50% of his own party.
But
he only got there because the GOP is so screwed up, so established, they thought Bush was going to win it. They let 17 people join the race.
And that's why he never got 50%. Not one of them, even if it wasn't Trump, not one of them would have got more than 50% because, like you said, there were 17 freaking nominations.
That's right. And so, it's fine. Like you said, the reason he's the guy to go for is he really is the one guy everyone hates because they're part of the establishment. I mean, did you see the WikiLeaks kind of suggesting that Boehner's part of the Clinton Foundation?
Yeah.
I mean, that ought to scare the hell out of everybody. What
Right.
But I'm not surprised, though.
Huh?
So I'm not surprised that he is.
But that makes us a banana republic, right? I mean, now you know why they're after this guy.
I mean, you got to kind of look at Trump almost like Batman. He's the hero that everybody needs, but the hero that nobody really wants.
Right. It really is the last hope if you think about it. Otherwise, I think we're on a different trajectory in my lifetime, you know. I'm just going to go buy more guns and ammo. But, you know, I'm just saying something has to change. Something has to break up. And, you know, the voters have to wake up to what's going on. A lot of people think we're going to be surprised come November when we wake up November 9th. We'll see. The polls are showing otherwise.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, so I would say, well, not really the history of America, because in the early days it was kind of anyone's game. But in the modern day era, Trump has been the only one that has any kind of impact to shake up modern day politics. If Trump doesn't get elected, I think it's a downhill slope from here on out, whether it's a Republican or Democrat presidency from here on out, for the good long for foreseeable future. And here's why. Trump, as I said, is shaking everything up because he's an outsider. He isn't doing these wheeling dealings and backstage handshakes and all this kind of crap. If he doesn't win, then it shows all the politicians that nobody can infiltrate their bullshit. So it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Especially, like I said, with all the evidence that's come out against Hillary. I mean, there's just going to be more and more and more of it because it's just going to show, well, politicians can literally do anything and get away with it.
Yeah, I agree. Anyways, I better let you go. Let somebody else call in and give you their 2 cents because this one guy doesn't want me mentioning the Banana Republic.
Well, I appreciate the phone call, buddy.
Good talking with you.
Yeah, it's good conversation. I appreciate it, man.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Yeah, James. Every time James calls in, it's always a good conversation. I like.
Of course.
Yeah, I like that guy. Apart from he's from Michigan, but everything else about him is pretty cool.
So the whole Michigan thing is doable.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna we're gonna have to do something to eradicate that whole Michigan thing from him. But yeah, yeah. So kind of moving on quickly. Because it's nearly the end of the show. But I wanted to, I don't know if you guys knew or not, but 10 female lieutenants have completed the first step in becoming U.S. Army infantry platoon leaders on Wednesday by graduating from the first gender-integrated class of Infantry Officer Basic Leader course. 12 women started the 17-week course at Fort Benning, Georgia, and 10 met the standards to graduate alongside 156 male classmates. The training of an infantry lieutenant is a process until they step in front of that rifle platoon. And this is but the very first step in that process, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Weber, the battalion commander of the course, told reporters on Wednesday at Fort Benning. It's a critical one because we are very much focused on training and preparing the soldiers, the lieutenants, to ultimately lead a rifle platoon. The graduation of first 10 women from the infantry course comes a little more than a year after Captain Kristen Geist, the first Lieutenant Shay Haver, became the first women to graduate Army Ranger School in August 2015. Major Lisa A. Jaster became the third woman to graduate from a gender-integrated Ranger course 2 months later. Defense Secretary Ash Carter in December ordered all military jobs, including military special operations, opened to women. His directive followed a 2013 Pentagon order that the military services open all positions to women by early 2016. Army officials maintain that it hasn't taken long for gender integration to become the norm in training. We have been integrating women into the military for years. They have fought and bled beside us for years, said Major General Eric Wesley, commanding general of the Maneuver Course of Excellence at Fort Benning. This is an important moment, but this is something that is in many ways business as usual. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. So I bring this up because, I mean, I guess it is kind of important. The first women to graduate the infantry officer basic leader course. So it is important. But if you've listened to any of my shows or some of Redleg's shows, as long as the standards don't change and the women meet the same standards as were in place before and the same standards that the males have to achieve, then I don't see no issue with it. If they can do the job according to the standards without the standards being lowered, then there's no issue.
Oh, I completely agree too.
Yeah. So good on them for graduating. Congratulations, girls. Now go out there and do good things. But yeah, like I said, as long as the standards don't change to allow them to pass, or to make it easier, or however you want to put it, I don't see any issue in them doing it. Even Ranger School or SF, as long as nothing changes as far as the standards and they can meet the standards just the same as the guys, I don't see no freaking issue in it. I mean, yeah, you could talk about some particular operational difficulties. That's a different topic. But being able or being afforded the opportunity to do some of these courses or attempt to join some of these units, I think they should be afforded the same opportunity. But again, as long as the standards don't change. So there we go. Well, it's about that time of the day, boys and girls, where we come to an end. So first and foremost, thank each and every one of you for joining us, stopping by, watching and listening. And if you're listening to the podcast at a later date, again, thank you for taking the time for listening. But yeah, like I said earlier, we have Redleg tonight with Friday Night Fuckery that starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. And tonight's guest is Paul, who is the events manager / coordinator / guru for Article 15. So he'll be on tonight. So make sure you stop by and I guess get questions ready if you have any questions for him. He'll be on the show to talk to you about his part in the whole setup and planning of of Freedom On Festival, as well as anything else that Article 15 may have in the works in the up and coming days, weeks, months. And then every night of the week, we have a show here, always starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Make sure you check us out. And then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, more often than not, you can find me here for Liquid Lunch from 12 noon to about 2 p.m. Eastern. If you're not able to get by a computer or watch us on Facebook Live or YouTube, you can always download the TuneIn Radio app. It's a free app. Just go to your store and search for TuneIn Radio. Download, install that, then search for WTF Nation Radio, and you can listen to us on the go. If you have an Android device, then you can go to the Google Play Store, search for WTF Nation Radio, download our app, and yeah, too easy. Have I forgotten anything, Mom?
No, just tune in for tonight for our guest and a chance to win a sticker. We're playing Drink That Tune.
Oh yeah, we're playing Drink That Tune tonight. So yeah, so make sure you guys tune in for that. Unfortunately, I got no outro music today because my stuff's kind of broke. We fixed one thing, but broke another. So I got to work on that. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good Friday. I hope you have an even better weekend. Yeah, get as much candy as you can, beat as many kids as you can. Not really, but yeah. So until Monday, as always, you guys enjoy the rest of your day.